Yesterday, we were talking about going to the car wash, washing your car, and by the time you get home, all of a sudden...
Pointless.
Exactly, right? This is case in point here. Brian, one of our workers here at NBC 10 Boston, actually just sent me this photo here. He said, I went to the car wash, I washed my truck, and by the time I got down the road and got home, the truck was back coated in pollen. This was yesterday. Also think back to yesterday, too, how everything was sort of hazy over the sky. Here is the literal loud cloud of pollen that we had over top. This is courtesy of Ed Hughes from Sky Ranger here at NBC 10 Boston. It was very loud in terms of the pollen count yesterday, too. It was quite high. And the reason you can sort of see how this pollen is coated and caked over top in New England is because of a temperature inversion. So we really capped the atmosphere and didn't allow a lot of this pollen to escape back and sort of spread out. Instead, it was coated and it was sort of saturated in the lowest levels of the atmosphere where you and I live and work and play, and oftentimes sneeze as well. Today's pollen count, it's a bit on the moderate side. Mold pollen is low. Grass and tree pollen moderate to high. Weeds are also high, or moderate rather, too. And going forward into Wednesday, that spikes back up as we take on the southwest wind. And then Thursday, it drops down as rainfall nears. And we'll talk more about that rain. But the reason the pollen count is more moderate today instead of moderate high is because of a backdoor cold front and an onshore wind. So that will bring temperatures down, but that will also knock the pollen back just a little bit, especially across the coast with winds out of the east at about 14 to 15 miles an hour through 11:30 this morning. And then this afternoon, they take on a southeasterly component, still keeping us coolest at the coast. And then tomorrow, they reverse direction. They're out of the west and southwest. That will really crank things tomorrow, too, in terms of temperature. Today, we're at 70 degrees. It's a consistent onshore wind that keeps us coolest at the coast. It's also not as humid today, too. So instead of dew points in the upper 50s and low 60s, today they are in the mid 50s. Scan that QR code because we will be tracking rain in the days to come. Of course, not only do we have an update on the pollen count, but we'll be watching the forecast Thursday, Friday, even into the weekend, too, for the Pride Parade. I know that we've had 5 dry days in a row with warm temperatures. It seems like we're going to have 5 wet days in a row, too, with milder temperatures. Highs tomorrow are back into the 80s with that southwest wind. That is a wind of change, and that will also prompt widespread warmth yet again for much of southern New England. A few clouds at 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock tomorrow, but the brunt of the rain showers arrive at the start of the day on Thursday. I think this will come along with some thunder threat. There will be breaks here or there. Not too many. Here's one example at 1 o'clock, though. If you've got to run errands across Bristol and Plymouth County, perhaps you're driving in from Providence at that point in the game, perhaps starting to dry out just a little bit. But do know there will be multiple rounds of rainfall through Thursday, through Friday, into the weekend. We'll talk more about the weekend forecast coming up in the next half hour. But Saturday does not look totally dry. It also does look totally wet. So there's a plus and a minus there. I think the biggest plus, though, as we started with in this forecast, the pollen count, it's on the way down because of the rain.